America has a mind. The religious institution has a mind. And we wonder why the black men become so weak. What happened to the power movement in the 60s? With the Garvey guys? Where are those men? What are those men? What are the Malcolms? What are the Hugh Buellets? All of them dead. But what happened to our generation? The black man has been groomed to be a childlike coward that's subject to his own lust. The black man has been groomed to be a coward. The black man has been groomed to be a weak man. That's why as black men, we gotta wake up. Meaning we gotta be able to look at the system, we gotta decipher and say, nah, this is not my rest. Right. This is not who I am. I wasn't born to be the image that America painted the black man to be. Right. The thug, the criminal, right. The gangbanger, the deadbeat father. Right. These are all images and containers that America painted for the black man. But God has a different story for us. Ecclesiastes 7 verse 29.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 29. Lo, this only have I found, that God hath made man upright.
God made you, Kumar, to be an upright, upstanding man of God. Right. To be a law-abiding, commandment-keeping man. To be a leader. A leader takes responsibility. A leader has discipline over his body. A leader has discipline over his thoughts. A leader sees the condition of a people, and a leader says, you know what? I have to make a change in myself so I can make a change out in the outside community. Right. The leader takes the actionable items and says, you know what? This is what we don't have in the community. We're not a nation of leaders right now. We're a nation of cowards. The black man has been groomed to be a childlike coward that's subject to his own lust. The black man has been groomed to be a coward. The black man has been groomed to be a weak man.
I'm laughing because when I first pulled up, that's the first thing I said out of my mouth.
We become weak. How do we become so weak? Because we're weak to our lust. Read on. Come on.
But they have sought out many inventions.
You saw out what?
Many inventions.
You saw out many inventions. Where does the invention come from? Your mind, your thoughts. You seek out many inventions. Think about it. So whatever comes to your mind, many inventions, read on. Come on. That's it. How do you give me Jeremiah 17 verse 9 now? You seek out, how you doing, brother? Come here. So the mind, we seek out many inventions based upon what's in our thought process. So you're looking for something. How you doing, sister?
I'm gonna say something. I talk like how y'all teach it. It's important because y'all just don't teach it from a biblical point. Y'all also teach it from a psychological. And I tell people that's where I think the issue is. A lot of people don't teach psychology with it.
It's the mind.
Yeah,
it's all the mind.
I understand it because when I read certain things, I read it from a psychological concept, not just biblical.
Exactly.
So I think that's where the disconnect with certain people is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm listening to everything y'all saying, and it makes a lot of sense to me, and I understand it, and I'm taking it as from a psychological mind, not just the biblical.
No, the biblical is a psychological.
Yeah, but some people don't understand that. They take it for what it is. Like, it's kind of a mixture of both, because the laws is the laws, but it is, you're supposed to take yourself and put yourself
into the Bible, into the scripture. You're right.
That's what I do.
Read it. What do I want?
Jeremiah 7:15.
7 verse 19. Verse 9.
Verse 19.
Verse 9.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 9.
Come on. What's wrong with you?
And the heart is deceitful above all things.
The mind is deceitful above all things. Right. So every thought process that's within your mind, every woman that you see pass, your body gives you the false. Your mind. I'll say this. Your body has certain urges and cravings, right? That your mind puts into action. Your mind speaks to you, and that's not really your mind. It's still your habit. So it's Satan really implanted thoughts within your mind, and you think it's your thoughts, but it's not your thoughts. How do you think Satan deceives people? He deceives you by your thoughts. Right. He puts an idea in you that you think is your idea, but it's not your idea. So yo, look at that chick over there. Look at that body. Why not try it? It might be a different flavor, but all vagina is the same. How many women are you gonna hit to find out that it's all the same box? That the body is just an outer layer of it. There's nothing you can do with the actual body. It's just good for the sight. It's nice and pleasing to the eyes. That's all it is. It's you're fulfilling your appetite. Why do overly enlarged or fat people keep on eating? Is it because their stomach desire the food? No. It's because their eyes desire that the stomach doesn't understand. It starts with the thought process, and you engage in the thought, and it becomes a part of your habit. It becomes a part of your character. It becomes a part of your being. It becomes a part of your destiny. And you shape your future just based upon your mind. What thought you decide to act on? Read on, read it again.
The heart is deceitful above all
So
things.
you gotta know yourself. Meaning Paul says, know you not yourself unless you be reprobate. You gotta understand what is your weak points? What is your triggers? What is it that you're really looking for? Does it even really exist? Or is it a never-ending thought that's constantly warping? Bring it out. Going over and over and over, warping in the same circle that never has an end. There is no end to your desires, to your pleasures, to your lust, to your fulfillment. There's no fulfillment within the body, but in Christ there's the fulfillment. Because discipline puts out that desire, that fiery desire.
Right.
That's the only thing that can stop things and put something in order. You need structure. Right. You need a standard.
Right.
Sin, there's no structure, there's no standard, there's no end game, there's no fulfillment.
Right.
Discipline stops it. That's why it's hard. Can you stop a constant movable object? Is it easy to stop a constantly moving object in its place? What's gonna happen? It's gonna hurt, it's gonna be a crash, it's gonna burn. That's what sin is constantly moving in circles at a warp speed. You gotta say, you know what? Enough is enough. And boom! You gotta stop sin in this track.
The heart is deceitful above all things.
Read.
And desperately wicked.
Come on.
Who can know it?
Who can know it? So, the importance of keeping the commandment. You don't even know the commandment, so how can you know your mind? Right. You don't know your mind, and that's why you act on every thought. And what has it done for you? How you doing, brother?
Pay attention.
How you doing, sir? How you doing? Everything good? What's your name, brother?
Brian.
Brian? My name is Joel. Nice to meet you. What's your name, young man?
BJ.
BJ, what's your name? Okay, Kyrie. Kyrie. Okay, can you help me out with this? So what are we teaching? We're teaching a black man to reform his mind, to reform his thinking. And not only the black man, meaning our children. You mean 2 Corinthians 14, verse 13, because it starts in the mind. We got to recapture our mind because America has a mind. The religious institution has our mind, and we wonder why the black man becomes so weak. What happened to the power movement in the 60s with the Garveyites? Where are those men? What are those men? What are the Malcolms? What are the Hugh Buellins? All of them dead. But what happened to our generation?
Fell by the wayside.
We fell by the wayside. Exactly, we lost our leaders, but we didn't really lose our leaders. The leaders are still here, but the leaders are all asleep right now. Give me that real quick and hold that. Give me 1 Corinthians 13, verse 11. That's why as black men, we gotta wake up. Meaning we gotta be able to look at the system, we gotta decipher and say, nah, this is not my rest. Right. This is not who I am. This is not what I was born to be. I wasn't born to be a thug. Right. I wasn't born to fit the containers that America put on me. I wasn't born to be the image that America painted the black man to be. Right. The thug, the criminal, the gangbanger, the deadbeat father. Right. These are all images and containers that America painted for the black man. But God has a different story for us. God has a different artwork for us. God has a different destiny for the black man. Right. We're the kings. We're the rulers of this earth. Right. But we forgot our place. We forgot our position. Now it's time for the black man to wake up. Read me that real quick.
1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 11.
Read it up.
When I was a child, I spake as a
The
child.
black man, we gotta stop speaking as a child. Right. Meaning a child runs after his lust. A child runs after different women. Like Christ says, what will I like in this generation but like unto children? The black man has become a child. Right. Why do I say the black man? Hold that real quick. Give me that. What will I like in this generation? It says, what is that, Luke 7 verse 29 something? Somebody give me that. Somebody find me that scripture real quick. So it says, when I was a child, I thought as a child. Is that what I want? I got it. You got it?
Luke chapter 7 and verse 31. And the Lord said, Whereunto then shall I liken the men of this generation?
Christ said, who's greater than Christ? Who's more manlier than Christ? Who's more austere than Christ? Right. Who's Who's more masculine than Christ? I'm not talking about this false fabricated image of this white man. That's not Jesus Christ in the Bible. That's an imposter. That's a liar. That's a deceiver. That's a thief. That's a fornicator. Right. I'm talking about the righteous black man. I'm talking about the righteous black image. I'm talking about the righteous image of a leader. Right. The image of beauty. The image of what a man's supposed to be. The black man Christ. Right. I'm talking about the revolutionary leader. Wake him up. I'm talking about the pure man. Right. I'm talking about the righteous man that walked this earth. The commandment keeper. Right. I'm talking about the man that men are supposed to follow. I'm not talking about Lil Wayne, Puff Daddy, T.D. Jakes. I'm not talking about Sean Combs. Right. I'm not talking about these men that these people that the society set up. Right. These are the men that they set up for us to follow. They set up to follow this man. They set up, and then they set up actors. They set up comedians. They set up artists. They set up basketball players. They set up football players. Right. Sports players for black men to follow. Now read it again.
And the Lord said, whereunto then shall I liken the men of this generation?
Christ did an analytical study of the black man during his generation. Christ's generation is the same generation today. Right. Spiritually regenerate. We're the same people living this life all over again. You know, we keep on walking around the same mountain. We're constantly walking around and we keep on being regenerated through different time periods because black men still haven't gotten right. Right. Black men are still letting another man dictate his thoughts process and take control over his thoughts. Right. Take control over his family. Right. Take control over his kids. Right. And take control of his nation. What generation are we going to get back? Get it right. Is this the last generation that black men are going to take a stand? Are we going to stop the different nations rising above us? Are we going to allow the white man, the Chinese man, the Arab man, the people infiltrate our community and dictate our thought process and our kids? Or will this be the last generation? Black men said, nah, that's it. Right. This is the last generation of America's rulership. Right. This is the last generation of the Chinese man telling my woman what to do. Or give my woman weed. Give my woman her fake nails. Right. This is the last generation that I'm going to have another white man teach my children to hate themselves. Right. Or to train my children or build my children to be slaves in the cotton fields. In a prison. Cell number 4. Prison number, inmate number 564. Now he's identified by a number in the system. Read it. Come on.
And to what are they like? They are like unto children.
They are like unto what?
Children.
They're like unto what?
Children.
The black men have become children. Right. Marcus Garvey said it once himself. The black man has become a race of cowards. Right. A race of children. Where's your school system? We don't got one. What type of race of man, what type of man that calls himself a man allows another man to train or teach his man, to teach his man, knowing that the same man that we have teaching our children is the same man that raped your fathers, right? Sodomized your fathers, right? Raped the woman, that put laws in place to break their household, and then you as a man allow your children to go to the same school system, knowing the history behind this country, knowing the history behind the country killing our men, killing our raping our women, breaking a black household. And we as men allow that garbage. Right. What type of man are we? To allow another nation of people, a white woman, to raise your children. Read it again.
They are like unto children.
They are like unto what?
Children.
The black man become children. You allow your child to go to church and worship a man that doesn't even look like your child. Yeah. And you wonder why your child hates himself. You wonder why your child's selling drugs and say, I'm trying to feed my family, but don't look at another black man and see a righteous man. See, right. You know what? If I sell drugs to that man, what am I doing to that man's children? Because you don't love yourself, you don't love the next man, so you see God in yourself, you don't see God in the next man. Right. So then you can shoot your brother for stepping in your shoes. You can sell drugs to your brother, destroying the whole family. You can sell crack to your brother, and then listen to Biggie says, under the 10 crack commandments. Bring it out. And you have the audacity to say black power and play Biggie the 10 crack commandments. Right. Rather than playing the Bible song, the 10 God's commandments. Right. What song we gonna listen to? What song we gonna dance to anymore? Keep reading.
And calling one to another, and saying, read. We have piped unto you.
We have danced unto you, read on.
And ye have not danced.
So the men of that generation says, we have piped unto you. We played our music, we played our songs, Christ, but you haven't danced to our tunes. You haven't followed the crowd. You haven't followed this wicked generation. Go on. Right.
And ye have not danced.
You have not danced to our song. You have not danced to the songs of the false, the wicked hip-hop music that we're listening to. You have not danced to the songs of the politics, the Republican Party, as well as the Democratic Party. You haven't danced to the songs to the educational system. Every that we're ingrained in within the society is a root to our destruction.
Right.
Everything, the education system is a branch.
Right.
The medical system is a branch.
Bring it out.
The religious institution is a branch. The psychological system is a branch.
Right.
All of it leading to one, it's all one tree. Every faction of America is one tree, one root leading to the black man's destruction.
Right.
The whole system was designed to keep the black man down. You ask yourself why? Who's the black man? What do you see yourself on the side? Who's the real black man? What's your name again? Who's Brian? That's what they're afraid of.
Right.
Why do you think we're the only people that had the vein of the history cut off?
Bring it out.
Why do you think the only people that was a guy doesn't look like that?
Teach.
They cut off the vein of the black man because they understand the power of the black man. They killed your leaders. They killed Marcus. They killed Fred Hampton.
Bring it out.
They killed King. They killed X. Let's go back. They killed Christ. They killed James. They killed Peter. They tried to kill John. Christ said no. They killed all the disciples.
Bring it out.
How many more? Why do they keep on killing our leaders? Because they're afraid of what comes with the future of the leaders.
Right.
They're afraid of the power that we as leaders possess. Read on. Is that it?
We have mourned to you,
Read.
and ye have not mourned, have not wept.
You know what? That's a leader. A leader, give me Exodus chapter 32.
Bring it
A leader
out.
doesn't follow the crowd. Like, for example, what kind of music do you listen to?
I'm actually a producer.
You're a producer?
I make the music that we talking about, but I don't limit myself. I make all types.
Okay, so you do make conscious music, which is excellent, but you say you don't limit yourself. So you do dive into the realms.
Yeah, I know you can't. I know that you see the thing about is having knowledge. Like I know I can't serve two masters, so I know I gotta cut the lights on, but it doesn't excuse what I'm doing just because I'm cutting the lights on. So that's why I be more conscious about who I'm giving it to and what am I putting out, because I got boys too, and if I keep putting that dirt music out, I'm only perpetuating the cycle that we're talking about now. So now I bring this into it. See, my sons, they being introduced to this now. My pop, he put me on to this, so I know what it's like to be an Israelite, to drive a truck, you know what I mean? And I'm glad I saw y'all the first time. I was like, let me get my sons and bring them down because they just got out of church, and I don't get into that with my moms, but I want them to understand who we are. Like they go there, they see this. I don't want to confuse them. I say, you go there, take the, listen to what the man say, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. Because it's his job, he gonna say what he gotta say. They pay their time, they go.
Because you don't have control of the kids.
Right.
Like he don't. I won't allow him to.
Okay, so they're not in your house right now.
No. They're in Arizona, so I got over the summer. So I'm dealing with, I'm dealing with it.
You're
So
trying to build yourself up.
I got them, so you know what I mean? I seen y'all brothers, and I'm like, I need my son to hear this.
Right.
Because I don't get a chance to do this a lot. I'm a video dad, you know what I mean?
It's hard, right?
So,
but you see, now you see this? You see the conditions because of our action, our decisions that we made? Every action has a negative result.
Right.
Every decision that we make, if it's not if it's not a decision that's guided by the laws of God, these are the things we keep on talking about. We keep on perpetuating. Music usually dictates or shows the time that we're living in.
but look, even in that time period, right? Jimmy's gone, Joan Baez, Morrison, you know what I mean? They're speaking about what we're talking. They didn't see color, you know what I mean? That's the thing with me, like, I don't see color, I see people. You bleed just like I bleed, you breathe just like I do, you eat just like I do. So when it comes to this, you know what I mean? It's for everybody. Specifically for me, but I'm on some shit like, yo, it bothers me the way the world is now, and my son's got to live in it because I came from a time period. It was always dangerous, but it wasn't as crazy as it is now.
It's dangerous for
You know what I mean? And it's
way
worse.
more worse.
It's worse
So
for
now,
them.
the world is worse.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why, what type of men, they're more violent, but what type of men are we if we allow our kids to live in that world? Why can't we, it's scary, but we could create a world within a world. For example, Israel in Christ. We're creating a world within a world.
Right.
So that kids don't have to live in that world. Think about it. You create, like for example, Asada Sakura says, how can you expect a man that doesn't treat you right, teach you right? How can you expect your enemies to teach you to be better than them. And why we allow our kids to be inserted, or why would we put them into the world that we complain about? As men, we have to foster and nourish an environment where our kids can live in. Because you can keep your kid outside of the world. And people, the false narrative that people say, oh, if you keep them back, they're going to indulge in it even further. I want you to know, you can create a world that they don't even have the opportunity to indulge in. Why is your son running the streets with other kids? That you don't know their mentality. You don't know the father's mentality. You don't know the mother's mentality. So why do you have your kids? Oh, they're kids. Let the kids be kids. Oh yeah? Let your kids be kids. They get touched by another kid. Let your kids be kids, and then let your kid be instilled violence by another kid.
Pardon me, King. I gotta take it to the back.
I can say for that point, by the time I came into where I'm at now, I already went through a lot of it. So I had to go through it to learn from it. But see, I got two little sons, and I'm teaching them how to box just with discipline. But in the back of my mind, because how this generation is, it's like I'm teaching you to defend yourself, but somebody might be quick to kill you just over you learning how to defend yourself with your hands. So it's tricky. It's tricky. I ain't gonna lie.
It's tricky as we make it with our own devices and our own counsel.
Right. Because anything in the house, what I do is I don't teach violence. I don't really listen to certain music in the house.
You know what we need to teach the kids?
I try to teach them discipline.
Bring it out. What do you need to teach them? You don't know discipline.
I
don't know discipline. Who knows what book has discipline? The Bible. So that's what you need to teach your kids. And not only your kids, you got to apply it to yourself. Right. Give me that Romans 13 verse 11.
Read it out. Romans chapter 13 and verse 11.
Read.
And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time.
Mark, you've been living a life of bullshit. All of us have.
Right. I think I live a lot of. I live 50 lives in this one lifetime.
You can't be proud of, right?
Yeah, no, I ain't proud.
No, we're not proud of it. Read it again.
And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
It's your time to wake up. You still sleep. You think you woke. Think about it. This is what you're doing, Kumar. Beep, beep, beep. Turn it off. Beep, beep, beep. You're half woke, half sleep. You're in and out of sleep cycles.
Bring it out.
You haven't fully woken up.
Wake them up.
To wake up is to arise and shine. That's to truly wake up. You understand that?
Right.
So you haven't woken up. This is the reason why I said you haven't fully woken up. Now you might be going through a cycle.
I would disagree with you.
You might be going through a cycle. That's doing something to put you down.
Yeah, no, I ain't telling you. No, I'm gonna be real with you. Because I feel like I go through what I go through because I fight what I'm supposed to be doing. So, not mentally. Listen, what I'm saying is this. I think me personally, I think I go through because I know I have a calling. I know I'm here for a reason. I know I have a calling. I know I'm here for a reason. But every time I go against that, it goes worse for me. So I know. That's what I'm saying.
The love of the Lord.
I told him. I said usually when I see y'all, because my eye, I'll go around the other way. But I said today,
not today.
I'm gonna stop because listen. I know. Look, certain things I don't want to put out personally. But look, around here, I was involved, not just here, but in Bergen County, I was involved in certain things. And I was a leader of certain things.
Okay, I can hear it.
So what I'm trying to do now, real talk, is change, because I led so much people into a destructive path, is try to find a way, and I know it has to start with me. And it has to start with my actions. I can't say do something and do the opposite of what I'm teaching you. You know what I mean?
You can't do it alone.
I can't. And that's the first thing I said to him. He said, what's it? I said, one thing about us, we can't do it by ourselves. No matter how much we stand on this corner and we say what we say, it has to be a whole. It has to be a whole. But it do need to start with a chain of like one teaching the other, but it has to be a whole. I know that for a fact. You know what I mean? So it ain't that I don't know what to do. I've been procrastinating, dragging. It's something that I have to do for the sake of my bloodline. I'm talking about my little ones under me.
Yeah.
I have to, like everything I went through, I'm okay with it. Not saying not for the change, but I'm okay with for the lessons that I've learned. Okay. And if I didn't learn these certain lessons, I wouldn't be standing in front of you right now. I'd be all the way real. I'd have saw you and dipped again. I'm being real. But it's
everybody got the time. But like I said, everybody, I can't say like I'm be here this long. Yeah, like I said, I can't say that I'm the perfect person that just came into something. No, we're still growing every day. We still got struggles and trials, but the difference is we have something at least to fight the counterpart.
Right.
If you fighting with your hands, you're gonna get knocked out, or somebody's gonna take out a weapon greater than your hands and shoot you down. That might be the last time, your last chance.
I got it all over. Bullet holes, knife. I've been through all of it.
So it's like, when is the cutoff? When do we give me first grade? I said that because you probably might have taken offense. I don't know you took it offense or not, but the fact that you said, I made a point saying that you're not awoken yet. You're going in and out of cycles of sleep.
I'm smart enough. I'm old enough to understand. I ain't gonna take offense. You're not saying nothing to put me down, right? You're not saying nothing to belittle me. You saying something to uplift me, so I wouldn't take offense because I understand why I'm here and I understand why you're talking to me. If I was ignorant, I would have taken offense to it. Now, but I understand why I'm here.
First Corinthians 14, verse 34.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 34. Awake to righteousness.
See, that's what it says. You're not fully awake. You're going in and out of cycles, but you wake up. You know you got to wake up at a certain time. But for some reason, you say, you know what? It feels good. Think about it. Sleep feels good, right? Sleep is pleasurable, right or wrong? Right. Sleep is pleasurable to what? Your body. So that's why when you know that you gotta wake up, the alarm clock says 6 a.m. because you understand at 6 a.m. I got a responsibility. At 6 a.m. I got a duty. Right. At 6 a.m. I gotta get up on my feet. Right. And I gotta go and do for mine. At 6 a.m. I gotta bring home. Like I said, the income for my family to provide for them. I know I got a responsibility for my household. But the slothful man says, 6 a.m. comes, ding, 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 ding. Let me put the alarm back to snooze because I want to go back to sleep. You know what that sleep is? I'm comfortable sleeping in America's politics. Right. I'm comfortable sleeping within my sins. I love the pleasure of the flesh. I love the pleasure of how it makes my body feels. I love how it caters to my insecurities. I love how it comforts me. Every time I ejaculate, I bust that nut. I love the pleasure of that. That's equivalent of us being asleep. Right. Sleep is pleasurable, just like sin is pleasurable.
Bring it out.
So the question is, read it again.
Awake to righteousness.
So you gotta say, you know you have a calling. You know you have a responsibility and a duty. You know that the things that you've done, like Paul knew that he had to go harder than a lot of other people. Paul's work was more than the apostles because Paul did more. Tell me that real quick. Read it again.
Awake to righteousness and sin not.
The Bible says awake. You're still asleep if you're still sinning. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to make mistakes, but at least you're trying your best.
Thing is, I feel like I said, the reason why I'm engaging for so long, because one thing I tell people is, lie to me, but I won't lie to myself. Like, I'm gonna be honest with myself, right? Lie to everybody else, but don't lie to yourself. So there's things that I know inside of my soul that I'm hearing. And if it wasn't something that I didn't already tell myself, I wouldn't been here. But everything you're saying to me, everything that I've been hearing is things that I'm honest with about myself. And when you're talking, I'm hearing you telling me what I tell myself. So I'm not lying to myself.
So now you have two witnesses against you.
Right. That's what it is, that's what I'm saying. More than one. Yeah, more than one.
More than one witness. You have the Father, you have myself, and you have the Spirit within you. Those are three witnesses.
And that's why I go through so much.
After 3 trials, there's judgment. After the first and second admonition, reject. So now you gotta ask yourself a question. How much more time do you have?
That's the thing. It ain't that. That's why you say about like setting them up and going back. Like I said, I know so much. My problem is I don't apply what I know.
Check this out. Give me Sirach 27 verse 12. Sirach 20, yep. 41. Go to Luke 7 verse 41. We're gonna go back. Luke chapter 7 verse 41. Bring it out. So now this thing, you know what you did in the world. And you know the position that you were in still has the attributes of a leader. You're supposed to take those things that you learned, and even though it was bad,
I was leading wrong.
Yeah, you was leading wrong. You can lead right because you see now you have the attributes, or you have the the capability to leave somebody, because if they didn't trust you or leadership, and I'm talking about the worst of the worst, if they see something you at your worst, imagine what people are going to see in you in your best. So that means you have something in you that God planted. But you just did it on the opposite side. You did it without having understanding. You were doing it without having sight. You're doing it in darkness. But now coming to the light, you're coming to understanding, reasoning with yourself. God has a purpose for you. God has a purpose for all of us. It's whether or not, if we're gonna take hold of that purpose. I'm not talking about the Christian church, because the Christian church is not made for men. It's made for boys. It's made for feminine men and emotional men and women.
Nobody told me.
Yeah. But the Bible is made for leaders. The Bible is made for conquerors. The Bible is made for men. That's what the Bible's made. It's not. This is a man. A man is only defined through his ability to discipline his flesh. That's a real man. A boy doesn't have control over his flesh. A boy allows his emotions to take control of him. A boy goes to every direction that his mind goes into. A man can tell his mind, not today. A man can have control of his body. Says, I tell you what we're going to do. And when you can subjugate your body, and we could take control of your body, you can take control of your woman, you can take control of your kids, you can take control of your community, because the biggest enemy is the enemy within. You defeat that man, there's nothing that can stand against you. Why do you think Malcolm and Marcus, all of them were so strong? Why do you think they were so immovable? Because people could see the confidence, because they conquered to a certain extent the within. When you conquer that person within, it's nothing. Death doesn't scare you. Imprisonment doesn't scare you. Poverty doesn't scare you. Why? Because you know you're just passing by. You know you got a purpose, and these things that might be thrown at you to slow you down, it's to take you off the path of your purpose, to slow you down. But nothing else exists but your purpose and your mission and why you're put on the earth. Read it.
Luke chapter 7 and verse 41.
Read.
There was a certain creditor which had 2 debtors. The one owed 500 pence and the other 50.
So there's a creditor. Had 2 debtors. One 500 and one 50. One owed much and another owed little. Read on.
And when they had nothing to pay, he frankly forgave them both.
So when he had nothing to pay, meaning that person, he was in debt. So the people were in debt. One 500 was in debt, another 50 in debt. Go on.
And when they had nothing to pay, he frankly forgave them
He
both.
says, you know what? I'm going to forgive the both of you, the 2 of you, for the debt that you owe. I'm going to have a loan forgiveness. Go on.
Tell me therefore, which of them will love him most?
So what you think is going to love him most?
The one that has the most debt.
The one that has the most debt. Go on.
Simon answered and said, I suppose that he to whom he forgave is most. And he said unto him, Thou hast rightly judged.
Go on.
And he turned to the woman and said unto Simon, Seest thou this woman? I entered into thine house. Thou gavest me no water for my feet.
Now, so the person that's forgiven more, will they do less or will they do more? Why?
Wait, say that again, repeat that again.
The person, who's going to do more? The person that's forgiven more or less?
Maybe the person with more.
Why?
Because you got more to lose, I think.
Because he's forgiven more.
Yeah.
So he has something to prove. Right? Like, for example,
Gotcha, I understand. Yeah.
because he did more, he has that guilt and that regret, so that he has feel the need that I have to make up for my sins. Right? Do you notice a lot of people that do more in life, that did a lot of harm in the community? They tend to be the person that goes the hardest, because they say, I destroyed the people so much, I gotta go even harder than I was in the world. So you gotta say, you know what, all the people are destroyed, all the brothers that led in this life, you gotta leave more brothers in the life of Christ now. Right? You gotta leave more brothers in the life of righteousness now. You gotta be stronger now than you were in the world, because why? You did, the Lord is gonna forgive you for more, so that you got more on your plate to do now. You got more to prove to the Lord. Right?
Nation is men leading by example.